Hello everybody and welcome to another Twilight Zone review. Today it is Season 5, Episode 32, Mr. Garrity in the Graves, written by Rod Serling and starring John Dehner as Jared Garrity. And this is a solid and entertaining Twilight Zone episode. It's kind of played for humor, but it's got kind of a different type of unique humor that we haven't seen in Twilight Zone, and it really worked for me. And although a few scenes are a little padded, I thought overall the episode worked well, and it has a twist that I really enjoyed as well and thought fit very well into the context of the episode. So we start in a town called Happiness, and they make a note to tell us this several times with signs and things like that. And we're introduced to our main character, Garrity, and he goes into a bar, and we learn some information from the bartender, whose name is Jensen, I believe. We learn the name of the town has changed many times over the years, and that this is a very dangerous place. A lot of people have passed away there for various reasons. We also learn that there's this new sheriff that's come into town and changed some of that. And Garrity, we find out, is in town because his skill is to bring people back from the dead. So that is our introduction to the episode. And after the opening narration, we get to meet some others in the town. And these scenes don't really pertain too much to the episode other than the fact that they let us know more about some of the townspeople, and they're just talking about Garrity and what he claims he can do. And then Garrity walks in, and the sheriff naturally questions him, and Garrity says, "This is true, I really can bring the deceased back," and he says, "I can't reveal how because it's like a magician who never reveals his secrets." So this makes us skeptical as an audience, and we'll be even more skeptical very soon. So we also get to learn more about a couple people in town now, and one man talks about his wife who passed away, which will be significant later on in the episode, and they are all interrupted from this conversation when a stray dog is found lying deceased in the road. And Garrity says, "Well, let me show you what I can do," but he says, "Nobody can watch while I do this because you can't see how I do it." And it's notable that we as an audience also do not see Garrity perform his trick, so we are even more skeptical now, and this was done pretty well. So Garrity does bring the dog back to life, and this amazes everybody, and Garrity says, "I can do this for everybody in town, and I will bring back your loved ones at midnight tonight." So we go to the second half of the episode, and a lot of the townspeople are waiting for midnight. I'm not sure they're too thrilled about this, but they're waiting all the same, and Garrity comes into the bar after a while, and he says, "I've done it. They're all going to be coming back to life." And then he says, go out and wait for him on the road, basically. So everybody goes outside. And the bartender, Jensen, is still in there. And Garrity tells him, "Your brother's going to be coming back." But after Jensen thinks about it for a minute, he says, "I really don't want him back. He really wasn't that great of a guy." He says, "How much can I pay you to keep him gone?" That's kind of a morbid thought, to be resurrected and then be put right back down. But I guess that's how it goes in the Twilight Zone. So Garrity says, I can perform this, but it's going to cost a lot of money." So the bartender pays him, and then the townspeople come back in and say, "Your brother, he was coming back and he just disappeared." So this makes it look like Garrity was right about all this, that he can really do this. So some other people in town are kind of skeptical of having their loved ones come back for different reasons. The man who talked about his wife earlier decides he really doesn't want her back. The sheriff thinks about it, and there's this man that he shot down that's very dangerous. He says, "This guy was a menace to the town. I don't really want him back." And then several other people also have stories where they decide maybe these people shouldn't come back after all. So they all pay Garrity a lot of money to keep these people away. And I have to say, these people seem to have a lot of money. Where are they getting all this money from? I thought that was a little bit strange, but you just got to go with it in this episode. So I guess it was fine. So after Garrity gets all this money and the deceased are put back to rest, I guess you would say, he leaves town. And as we suspected all along, we see the dog, and we find out that it was Garrity's dog. And he says, "Good job of playing dead" earlier in the episode, so the dog is trained to do this. Then we see a man come out who apparently is Garrity's partner, and he was playing the brother that was supposed to come back, the bartender's brother. That's how they perform this trick, and basically we find out they're going to another town the next day to do the same thing. So this is how they make a lot of money by doing this. And then we get the twist of the episode, which is kind of predictable. I think you can kind of see this coming, but it works really well, and it was pretty amusing. The dead really do rise. It appears that Garrity really did have this power, and some of them talk, and they're definitely going back into town. And I think some of the townspeople should be worried based on some of the conversations I heard. So overall, Mr. Garrity in the Graves isn't a great thought-provoking episode, but it's a very good episode and very entertaining, and I give Mr. Garrity in the Graves a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely an episode to check out at least once. I think it's worth your time. So 3.5 out of 5 for Mr. Garrity in the Graves. As always, thank you very much for watching.